this? A Formula Fangirl video on a Friday? I know, a little bit different, but let me explain. So, the reason I'm uploading this video early is because starting this weekend is the very first race of the 5th season of Formula E. Now, I've not watched Formula E before, but I really want to try and get into all areas of motorsport. So the reason I'm uploading this video on a Friday is because come Monday, I would like to put out another video all about the first race and weekend of Formula E. So yes, there we have it. You're going to have 2 videos in the space of 4 days. Oh my goodness! So, now that we've got that out of the way, and without further ado, let's move on to the 3rd video of Formula Fangirl. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video of Formula Fangirl. That's me. So today we're going to be talking about when I went up to London with my mum to the Autosport Awards 2018. So it was one of the most kind of like unexpected but amazing evenings of my life. Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit for the reason why we went in the first place. So one thing that my mum and I have done since I was 13 years old is go to film premieres. Now, I don't mean that we were the lucky ones that got to get the golden ticket and walk the red carpet and blah blah blah. We were the crazy people that would stand outside for hours on end trying to meet the stars. And over the years we've met some amazing people such as Hugh Jackman, Chris Pine, Tom Hiddleston, and so many others. It's been an amazing time trying to meet people. It came a little bit like a hobby of ours to try and meet a lot of famous people. It's something we like to do. Might not be your cup of tea, but it definitely is ours. So, going back to the Autosport Awards, my mum and I wanted to try and see how many motorsport stars we could meet. To be honest, we didn't know what the Autosport was until that day. So another sort of story for the day. What happened was when I was getting ready to go and see my family, I was scrolling through social media, as you do, of a morning, and I found out something called the Autosport Awards. Decided to check it out and realised that it was going to be happening in London that evening. Now, the reason it sparked so interesting to me was because A, I was free that evening, and B, I wasn't doing anything the next day. So if there's a will, there's a way. That's definitely one of my sayings. So I went to this thing with my family. We had an amazing day, and then on the way home I decided to approach the subject with my mum to see if she'd be interested in coming. Now, first of all, she was like, nope, I don't think I should go, I've got things to do at home, blah blah blah. But me and my mum are like 2 peas in a pod, and when something gets said, wheels start turning in our head and we just decide, you know what, to hell with it, let's go. So, it was something like 4:20 in the afternoon, we decided to get ready and go and get the train and head up to London. So we reached Mayfair, Park Lane, around 5:15 in the evening, and then decided to look for Grosvenor House. Had no idea where it was, had never been there before myself, but my mum said that she had been. So we were sort of going up, trying to walk, trying to find it, and we got there and nothing. Couldn't see anything. Now, I had previously seen on social media that there was sports cars outside, there was pretty lights, there was things going on, and we were like, well, this doesn't look anything like I've seen. So we wondered if there was another entrance. So we looked on our maps, on our phones, kept going, and then, ta-da! We finally found the main entrance of the Autosport Awards event. And outside there was a McLaren supercar, there was a Mahindra Formula E car, and of course there was Lewis Hamilton's winning W09 car outside the hotel. They just looked amazing. They'd done this cool thing where they had lights all around the cars, illuminated them, making them look so cool. So we got to the Grosvenor at about 5:30, and nothing was really going on. There was a lot of setup, the carpet was already laid out, there was a few people there setting up for their sort of like media who was going to talk to the motorsport stars when they arrived. But us, for the people that were outside, we were just standing outside the gates, weren't really allowed to go inside. And there was only about 7 other people there at the time, which to me and my mum, we were like, have we got the right place? Considering we've been to premieres where there's been thousands upon thousands of people trying to meet all these stars, the fact that we were in the top 10 was just like amazing. So we're sort of peering through the gates, pointing our cameras, trying to take pictures of what we can do. And we didn't realise at first, but it's a hotel as well. It's not just an event going on. There was people staying there. So my mum asked the doorman if it was okay for us to go inside and start taking pictures of the cars. And this is where the evening takes a turn for the better. So we go through some gates and we're standing right next to the lovely McLaren that's sitting there taking all these photos. We then move over to the Mahindra Formula E car, again getting our photos. And I don't know what made us turn around. We heard this voice that we both just seemed to recognise. We turned our heads, and who is standing there but the man himself, David Coulthard. We couldn't believe it, that somebody who had raced for Red Bull and is a huge Channel 4 pundit now for the Formula 1 coverage on Channel 4 was standing right in front of us. And both my mum and I were a bit like, oh, hello David, do you mind if we have a selfie? And of course he was happy to oblige, and we got some lovely pictures with David before he left to go and get ready for the evening. So that happened, and me and my mum were in a bit of a state of shock and starstruck and all this. But what I didn't realise is behind us there was someone standing there that would soon I would get to know quite well. And his name is Josh Folk. So Josh, if you watch him, hi there. He is the social media person for Autosport, and he kind of tapped me on the shoulder and was like, wow, that was pretty cool of you to meet David. And I was like, yeah, I know. And he's like, oh, if you're going to post anything on social media to do with the awards, please quote hashtag ASA 2018, because that is the hashtag that he had made up for the awards, and he'd love to see what people are posting all about the evening. And I was like, yeah, that's great. So I got a selfie with Josh, and yeah, we sort of went on our way back around outside the gates, and we waited until the gates opened at 6:15 to see who we could see. And the evening only got better from there. So, when the gates opened, we started talking to the security guard, because one little tip that my mum and I have always found that is very useful if you're going to events like this that have security is make friends with the guards that are working. Because if you're rude and hostile and grumpy, then they're going to kind of be like, oh, they're people I have to watch for the bad reasons. But we got talking to the lovely security guards out front, and literally we're talking to them all night, laughing and joking, because funnily enough, the security guard of the event had no idea who any of these people were. I mean, there were a few people that he recognised and was like, oh yeah, I know who they are. But in terms of the newer stars, he was literally lost for words. He just didn't know who they were. So we had a little bit of back and forward banter about what was going on, and oh, I was very good at catching these people, so that was quite a good thing. So yeah, we got talking to security guards, and then the first people arrived very shortly after. And the first person that we got to meet on the carpet was Zak Brown. Now, Zak Brown is the CEO of McLaren, the F1 team, and nobody recognised him at first, but I saw this person and I was like, I know who he is. And luckily the name came to me quickly, and I was like, oh, Zak. And he was like, hi there. Asked him for a selfie, got a nice picture, and that was great. So Zak was first on our list. Next to go on the red carpet was Nicholas Hamilton. Now, Nicholas is obviously known as the younger brother of Lewis Hamilton, and he's also known for the fact that he has cerebral palsy. But something people may not know is that he is also a driver of cars himself. He's really good, and he also drives for the British Touring Car Championship. So very well done to Nicholas, and look out for him, because he is a phenomenal person in the world sport, not just because of his brother. Yeah, so moving on, we then met Jack Nicholls. Now, when I first met Jack Nicholls, actually, was at an event in 2017, which I will get on at the end of all the people that we met. But yeah, we met Jack Nicholls, who is a motorsport commentator on BBC Radio. And it was very good to have a picture with him and see him again from the event that we saw him from the first time. Coming next, we met Mika Hakkinen, the Flying Finn himself. Mika drove for McLaren and won championships in 1998 and 1999. So to be able to meet Mika Hakkinen was a very, very amazing thing to happen for that evening. Next we met Alan McNeish, and he is a 3 times Le Mans winner, 24 hours. So at first I didn't know who Alan was, but my mum recognised him and some people that recognised him as well. And once I found out who he was, I had to have a picture with him, so that was good. After we'd met Alan, something kind of very unexpected happened. Well, okay, it wasn't really unexpected because I knew the next couple of people were going to be at the awards, but I had no idea how close to them I was going to be able to get. From my previous video, you might be able to tell that one of the upcoming stars that is a favourite of mine is George Russell. And George was nominated for one of the awards at the evenings, and I don't know what made me do this, but I kind of saw him from afar and just kind of went, "Oh my god, it's George!" And just kind of stood there, again, very starstruck. And my mum literally like had to push me and was like, "Go on, go and get a picture." So it was great. I managed to meet George Russell, who obviously won the GP3 in 2017, the F2 Championship in 2018, and will be driving for Williams next year. And along with George, we also got to meet Lando Norris, who was going to be the driver for McLaren. So to be able to meet George and Lando before they start their F1 season was very, very lovely for me, because then I can say I met them at the beginning and I can't wait to see what they can do. Now, next is somebody that isn't in Formula 1, but I do think that we will see him in Formula 1 one day. I think it's undoubtedly going to happen with things that are changing in the world of motorsport. So the next person that my mum and I got to meet was Billy Munger. Now, Billy Munger has definitely become a name in the UK when it comes to talking about cars. A little bit of a story, if you don't know who Billy is. Billy was a racer in Formula 4 back in 2016 and 2017. In April of 2017, unfortunately, Billy was involved in a nasty crash where a car had stalled on the track, and Billy was coming at such a high speed that when one car moved out of the way, Billy couldn't see the car in front and went into the back of that car and became a double amputee due to the accident. But Billy has been so strong and not shed a tear about his accident at all. If you want to know kind of more on Billy and what I'm talking about, they've done documentaries on BBC, so you can look them up on iPlayer and things like that. But Billy is now going to be racing in F3 with a specially made car due to his accident. But Billy is going to do amazing things, and I know that for a fact. So to meet Billy was fantastic. And then after Billy, the next person that we met, for me, I didn't even know he was coming to the event, so to be able to meet him was just fantastic, and that was Pierre Gasly. So I got to meet Max Verstappen's teammate, and I'm so happy that Pierre has gone from Toro Rosso to my favourite team, Aston Martin Red Bull Racing. Pierre is a phenomenal driver. Yes, okay, he was in a car that didn't do too well, but I mean, look at him, as I mentioned before in my other video, in Bahrain when he got 4th. He's done some amazing overtakes on track, and I think we're going to see such great things from Pierre now that he's going to Red Bull. So again, this evening just kept getting better and better and better. After Pierre, it was time to meet Charles Leclerc, which didn't go as well as we hoped. So another tip if you're going to go meet celebrities is make friends with their PR team, or at least try and be as nice to them as you can. What happened with Charles, I have no idea, but he turned up at about 7 o'clock just before. Now the evening had kind of started by this point. Things didn't really start until about 7:30 afterwards, but his PR woman just kept saying to everyone, "I have to get Charles inside." And of course, if there's people outside waiting to meet him, nobody got rushed, but we really wanted to try and get as many sort of pictures and autographs with him as I could. So my picture with Charles, as you'll see, isn't as good as I hoped it would be, but you can definitely tell it was him. And Charles was very nice enough to give me a second selfie. So this picture that you see here, that was the second picture. The first one was just terrible. I had to delete it. He tried very hard to meet everyone that he could, but the lady that was with him, unfortunately, did want to drag him inside, hence the blur of my photo. But nevertheless, I met Charles, got to speak to him and wish him luck for Ferrari, though that was enough for me. After Charles, we met Chase Carey. Now, Chase Carey is the big boss man of Formula One. He is the CEO of the Formula One group. So to be able to say that I've met Chase means a lot to me, because he is such a big part of what goes on in the world of Formula One. So I couldn't believe my eyes when I got to see Chase there. It was great. Then we met Carlos Sainz, who's going to be going to McLaren, which was amazing. So, and both Charles and Carlos kind of did a bit of a sneak attack on us, where most of the stars were coming from this side, but Charles and Carlos decided to come from the other side, so we had to actually turn around to realise they were there. But no, to be able to meet Carlos was amazing, seeing as he's done so much in the world of Formula One, so that was great. And then the last two people that we met, they arrived near enough as soon as the event was just about to start. So talk about being fashionably late, which was Toto and Susie Wolff. So Toto Wolff is obviously the CEO of Mercedes, and Susie is his wife. But Susie isn't just Toto's wife, she is so much more in the world of Formula One, because she's done some testing as a development driver for Williams, and she also was doing some free practices some years ago. But now she is well known as a Channel 4 presenter, and it's really lovely to see Susie doing these interviews, especially when she has to interview Toto, as things get quite funny. So that was fantastic. But that was our evening at the Autosport Awards. I just was on cloud nine. When we first met David Coulthard at about 5:30, my mum and I said to each other, if he is the only person that we get close to this evening, then that's it, the night's been made. To be able to go on and meet 13 more people in the world of motorsport was just, yeah, I'm still lost for words to this day. To be able to show that I've got some amazing photos from that evening, I will treasure that always. Okay, so now jumping back to when I talked about meeting Jack Nicholls for the first time. On the 20th of October 2017, my mum and I got to meet another motorsport Formula One star, and that is Jenson Button. So my mum is a very big JB fan, and I found out in the August, I think it was, of 2017, that JB was going to be doing a book signing, an F1 talk and book signing at Foyle's Bookshop in Charing Cross in London. And I was like, I have to get there. Not just me, I have to get my mother there. Because back then, I was a big fan of Formula One, but my mum has been a fan way longer than me. So I have to thank her for all of these videos in a way, because she was the one that got me into Formula One in the first place. So I booked these tickets and told her that she was going to get to meet her absolute idol, Jenson Button. And we had a fantastic day where we were the third and fourth people in the queue, so we got to sit in the front and got our picture with Jenson. But the reason that Jack Nicholls was there is because he was interviewing Jenson for the talk, seeing as he's a motorsport commentator. So that was good to see Jack again after seeing him at the Jenson Button talk. But there you have it. That is all the people that me and my mum have met in the world of motorsport. Have you met any people? And if you have, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'm Georgina, your Formula fangirl, and we will see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone. I just got something amazing through the post. Okay, first let's rewind back to a few days ago. Okay, are we all there? Right, so I found out on Instagram that somebody had got Max Verstappen's driver card. And I was so jealous that somebody had got that, and I was like, oh my goodness, how did you get that? and she was like, oh, I just emailed Red Bull Racing and they'll happily send you one. And I was like, oh, fantastic. So there I was, straight on my phone, emailing Red Bull to see if I can get a driver card for Max Verstappen. I was waiting and I was waiting and I was waiting, and then finally I got the email I was after. Let me tell you what it said. Okay, so the email I sent them was that I would really like to obtain the Max Verstappen driver card because he's my favourite driver, and I was a little bit cheeky and sort of said that I'd really hope to obtain it as either a birthday or a Christmas gift from Red Bull, which I thought was quite nice. I gave them my address and sort of said that Red Bull Racing is a fantastic team and has my continued support, and I cannot wait for the 2019 season. And that was on the 29th of November, and I waited and waited and waited, and I got my reply finally on the 7th of December saying, hi Georgina, thank you for your email and we always love to hear from our fans. And they apologise for the late response, but as I could tell it was a busy end to the season. They said, we'd like to send you Max's driver card, but we cannot guarantee it will be signed due to his busy schedule. However, we will try our best. We will arrange posters for this, so be sure to look out in the mail over the next couple of weeks. Kind regards, Aston Martin Red Bull Racing. Oh, so I was very, very excited. Wasn't too sure what I was going to get. And then back to today, I arrived home. Now, at first, all I saw was this. That's all I saw. And I thought, oh, it must be a birthday card. Turned it over and I saw this. And I literally screamed. I was like, ah, oh my God. I ripped open the envelope and there was a lovely letter on some lovely stationery from Red Bull, and it says, Dear Aston Martin Red Bull Racing fan, thanks for making contact with us. We always love to hear from our fans. As you can imagine, we receive many requests like yours, and with our hectic racing schedule, it does take us a little while to reply to everyone, so please excuse our delay in getting back to you. We hope you enjoy the enclosed driver card, and we hope you enjoyed the 2018 season. For team updates and to visit our online shop with all our fantastic merchandise range, please go to redbullracing.com. We wish you all the best and thank you for the interest in our team. Kind regards, Aston Martin Red Bull Racing. But that isn't even the best bit. I opened the letter and found Max's driver card signed. Oh my God, I was absolutely thrilled. Thank you so much, Aston Martin Red Bull Racing. I cannot believe I am now the proud owner of Max Verstappen's autograph. Now, you might not be able to tell on camera, but you can definitely tell that this has been done with a Sharpie that is definitely running out of ink, shall we say, but I can definitely tell. So there we go. There's Max's autograph on a lovely driver card. So we have Max in his racing overalls and his helmet with the Red Bull background and his autograph. And then on the other side, we have the RB14. So there we go. It is amazing. Oh, what an amazing early birthday and Christmas present, don't you think?